All right, we have a very special BPTV episode this week, a twofer from Progressive. So joining us today is Jim DeVito, Small Business Insurance Director at Progressive, as well as Bailo, Commercial Lines Division President at Progressive. So welcome.
Good to be here.
Yeah, thrilled to have you and dive into the world of small business and commercial lines. So let's start off by level setting on the space that we are all very passionate about, small business. So what's the current environment like for small business owners, and what are you seeing?
The COVID impact has been, it's devastating, right? So there's no question that many small business owners have had their livelihoods kind of crushed, or at least they're in peril. So just acknowledging that, particularly things like restaurant sector and infrastructure and other suppliers to the restaurant sector have been just, really, really rough. That said, as a counterpoint to that, we've seen, as recently told to us by our chief economist, a lot of new business formation has really started up. So whether that's opportunities being recognized by entrepreneurs or out of necessity, whatever it's been, there's been a increase in new business startups, which of course provides an opportunity for insurance to help those small business owners get started and take on risk appropriately.
Yeah, and maybe I would add to that point to just say that we've seen a nice rebound in new business in our agency channel and in our direct business as well. We're seeing an increase in mix of small business owners that are shopping online. And we've also seen an increase in the mix of what we would refer to as maybe the owner-operator business. So we're seeing many of the new business formations out there are single-person operations or perhaps the gig economy efforts. And the owner-operator business is really an area of expertise for us, particularly in the auto sector. And so we're very optimistic about the growth that we're seeing in that sector.
Yeah, that's been really incredible to see, is that resurgence of entrepreneurship as the shutdowns kind of drag on, to see the innovation coming out of that space. And I think a big part of that is businesses innovating to the current environment. And I think a big part of that is sort of that user experience piece. And certainly Progressive is known for having a relentless focus on customer experience. And I actually experienced that myself. So quick story, in 2008, I had an auto claim with Progressive, and I was actually able to complete it fully online, which was really mind-blowing at the time. I mean, this is, 12 years ago. So as both an insured and an insurance professional, I was definitely wowed by the efficiency of the process, like totally paperless. So how do you keep advancing ease of use? So with consumer expectations constantly evolving, how do you keep pushing the frontier of customer experience forward for both your insureds and your agents, who are, of course, also a really important part of the Progressive ecosystem?
Yeah, great question. And you bring up a really terrific personal example, and I appreciate you sharing that. It really highlights the importance of delivering great claim service. When we think about claims, addressing a customer's claim is, after all, the promise and where the rubber meets the road. It's what we're selling to our customers. And fast and fair has always been our mantra at Progressive. And you're right, customer expectations continue to evolve, and we think about what's the expectation and what's the bar out there. And really the latest and greatest consumer digital capability out there kind of sets the bar and sets the expectations for all industries. And for us, ease of use is really a core element of our strategy, whether it's claims or the buying experience or servicing a policy. It really, from our perspective, takes a dedicated group of people that wake up every day trying to figure out, how do I make my part of the customer value chain better? and not only for our customers, but also for our independent agents. We want our agents to have the industry-leading ease of use, and so we focus pretty intently on that. And our approach is pretty disciplined and very thoughtful in terms of the areas that we go after. We think pretty hard about what are the one or two metrics or areas that we should focus on that will make the biggest impact. And then we are laser focused on continuous improvement in those areas, and we measure our progress against those metrics. So it's a mantra and the way we operate across every aspect of Progressive.
I would add to that, I'm really glad we're talking about both the consumer and the independent agent, because while the value proposition of competitive pricing and great claim service are true for both, the ease of use plays out a little differently. It's by necessity a different set of technologies and a different approach that's often taken when we're supporting our independent agents. Karen and I have both had the pleasure of supporting our pretty vast network of independent agents over the years. And I had the privilege of hosting our agent technology advisory board for several years. And during that time, it was just really compelling to me to learn more about the many different business models that different independent agents had, their different technology needs. And it was really important to get a good understanding of the independent agent's needs before making big technology investment decisions, right? So really look back fondly on those times and made some really good friends with some really great agents during that time too.
Yeah, that's a great point. No two agencies are identical. Certainly there are similarities between them, but their needs and their strategies are certainly going to vary. So yeah, how do you pick the right technology that's going to benefit all of the agents? That's certainly not a simple decision, I'm sure.